feel like taping you guys back.
Everybody good? Chris, big fight. We're getting close here. A few days for fighting for $1 million. How are you feeling? What's the emotion?
Man, I'm so locked in. I'm not even kidding with you. I feel no different than I felt going into the Bubba fight. I'm just very, very confident in how hard I've worked to manifest this moment and this opportunity. And I think that kind of like through all the shortcomings that I've had at 55, like almost being there and coming back from that, I've become a stronger, more dedicated, and a tougher fighter overall. And I believe that God kind of put me in those positions to test me to see if I'm worthy of something like this. And I'm just doing everything I can to show him that I am worthy of it. And I'm going into the fight with just extreme confidence.
And you had mentioned, you've been around the game for a long time, and you had mentioned how you've been through so much. You told me that your run in the UFC wasn't as you expected, and we're a little salty about how things ended. But here you are fighting for a title, a huge purse. Does it feel like this is the biggest moment of your career?
This is absolutely the biggest moment of my career, and that's just because of the opportunity that's at hand. And anytime you can tie a world title in a big organization like the PFL, I truly believe that the PFL is the number 2 fight organization in the world right now. And that's no disrespect to us. I say us because I believe in the PFL, and I always have. And it's just that the UFC's been around for longer, and they have the name, like the notoriety. They're 25, 30 years running. So we're working diligently to catch them, and I think that we will. But I think that it's time to move past some of that stuff. This is where I want to be. This is where I want to make my legacy in the PFL. I believe in their format. I believe in the opportunity that they give fighters. So I'm just very happy to be in this moment.
Last question for me again. No financial advice, but crypto's been blowing up. What's your portfolio looking like, and any big gains?
Yeah, I mean, when I started the year and I went into the bubble in AC, I had a ton. I don't know why I did it. I just bought a ton of Dogecoin on Robinhood in like June during COVID because it was the only one that was like really cheap. And I was like, oh, if this thing ever does anything, who knows? And that put no thought into like why or what. And it wound up right around that time in April. It wound up hitting its first like blow up, and then I almost made as much money that I made fighting that week in crypto. So I was like flipping out, and then I went home and it started making even more money. So I've doubled down on Doge because some of the smartest people in the world continue to believe in it, Elon and Mark Cuban, and I respect their business prowess. So my portfolio is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge, and then I sprinkle in a lot of little fun stuff like Polkadot. I have Polygon, I believe, too. I try to spread it out in case something else pops too. But with what they did with inflation and printing like 30% of all the money, US dollars, that we ever had last year, we all know inflation is just going to keep getting worse. So I really believe in crypto. My money will be put in those areas for sure.
Well, Chris, like you said, I remember back in PFL before I asked you, they were talking about Brendan and Bubba, and I simply said, do you feel like they're sleeping on you? Do you feel that now you made a statement like, hey, you're focusing these guys, but you forgot about me? We came on the block. And what clicked for you at 45 compared to 55?
Yeah, I kind of felt like that the whole time. I heard those two going back and forth at each other like they were destined for the final. And I was like looking over to Movlid, like we're looking at each other like these two guys, let them talk. And I knew from the time they set the roster, the guy in my head that would be there when the dust settles, it was going to be me and Movlid. And that's what happened. Like it came to fruition. And I don't think I was like forgotten about, but I think I was written off just because of like they spun the weight cut like it was going to be a negative on me, like I would be less of a fighter. And I'm a wrestler. I grew up my whole life doing this. I know how to cut weight and endure this and do it the right way. I'm sure you could see right now that I don't look like myself, but I will recover from the weight cut and be 170, 172 pounds when I fight. So I think that's where people wrote me off was they thought the weight cut was going to make me have like no gas in the fights, and it turned my weakness at 55, which was my cardio late in fights, to my strength. I spun my weakness and I made it one of my best attributes, and I'm proud of that. I think that's where the flip was.
First, this weekend, Dan Hooker takes on Islam Makhachev. You fought him in the past. Any advice you want to give Dan Hooker when he takes him on this Saturday?
Dan needs to stay off the floor. He's not me. I mean, he's an excellent striker, but I just believe you need, not trying to pat myself on the back, you need to be somebody like me to have a chance to beat him. I don't think everyone has a puncher's chance, but I don't think you can survive. Those types of fighters can survive on the floor with him. I can not only survive, but I can win scrambles against that guy on the ground. I almost choked him a few times. So I think a guy like Gregor Gillespie is probably the guy that can get him.
Thank you.
Chris, at the last press conference, you mentioned that you were able to keep your camp mostly the same this year. But, I saw on your Instagram you got some working with Aljo and Marab. So I just wanted to know what was it like working with those guys in preparation for this fight?
Yeah, Aljo and Marab are two guys that when they're not in Vegas, they pop in and they cross-train with us at Long Island MMA. I also go over to them at Law, and we have a great relationship with those guys. I'm really good friends with Matt Serra and with Ray Longo too. They're always just great to me. So Ally Quinta has been in the past a frequent training partner of mine. So it's absolutely like nothing but love. And training with a guy like Marab, I think, especially over prepares me for this fight coming up with Movlid, because they call him the machine for a reason. He does not quit. And when I do 5-minute goes with him, it's an absolute war. And as tough as Aljo is to get off your back, Marab, the pace he puts on you, just it's like you level up every time you walk off the mat with the guy. And he's a great dude. So I look forward to more time spent with them.
All right, guys. I'm sorry we have to wrap this one up, but thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you very much.